Why phones are ruining real communication. Most people in this room probably spend more time talking to this than they do having real conversations on a day-to-day basis. And that's becoming a serious problem. Now, I'm not saying phones are bad. Obviously, they are useful and they help us stay informed on day-to-day communication, but they are damaging our face-to-face daily communication skills. And we need to start setting limits on how we use them. As someone who particularly works at customer service and is talking to people consistently, I notice this almost every day. I see how different people interact with each other, and it's easy to tell when phones are getting in the way of real communication. First, phones make people feel ignored, even when they are physically present. Almost everyone has experienced trying to talk to someone while they are scrolling on social media or texting someone else. Families go out to eat and spend more time looking down at their devices than they do actually talking to each other. Friends hang out with each other, such as the movie theater, and they are barely communicating because they're just distracted on their device, looking like that. Being physically present does not mean you are mentally present. Mentally present includes your mind, you listening, you being attentive, your eyes, your senses being used to help you observe what's in front of you. But if you're stuck on your device, that's going to progress. According to the Pew Research Center, many teenagers say they are online almost constantly, and that level of constant phone use affects how people communicate in real life. When people become used to short messages and quick replies, real conversations can become uncomfortable or less important, as well as the attention span lowering because you're used to things being quick and instant based on your little device. I also noticed this at work. Some tables are particularly talking, engaging, sometimes doing the most, but they're not having a device be a factor in that. However, tables that do have a device, such as an iPad, a laptop device, just not even a phone, they can still barely be interacting because they're engaged on their devices. The energy is completely different. Even when they are communicating, it's subtle, it's short, it's not lengthy, it's no content really with it. You can immediately tell when people are genuinely connecting and when people are just sitting near each other without really communicating. Logically, this makes sense. Communication is a skill, and like any skill, it gets weaker when it stops practicing. That's regression, such as progression for when a skill is getting continued and practiced over and over, that's progression. So if we're not on our devices and we're talking more and more day-to-day personal, actually utilizing our skills, then naturally it's gonna increase. But with devices being in the way and we're always for communicating, it's going to decrease. According to research from Harvard Medical School, constant phone notifications and screen distractions can reduce our focus and attention. On top of that, the American Psychological Association explains that frequent multitasking with digital devices can negatively affect our attention span and the ability to sustain our focus. If people spend more time texting and scrolling than talking face to face, social skills naturally start to weaken over time. Phones also make it easy to avoid difficult conversations. Instead of talking through problems in person, people will be able to hide behind their devices or utilize this as a crutch because it's safer and more easier. However, over time, this creates a weaker communication for the person along with the relationships around them if it's inevitable. Now, I'm not saying people should get rid of their phones. However, phones are a part of our everyday life. They are the today, they are the future. And we need to have more control of how we use them so they don't empower us, overpower, and take control of what's inside us. Simple changes like putting phones away during meals, staying off phones during conversations, or taking breaks from social media can really improve relationships easily just by showing that attention, that you're here, that you're present factor. Because this takes that away if you let it overpower. Now, the device was created to connect people, and ironically, it may do the exact opposite. So if we want strong relationships, better conversations, and better communication skills, it starts with learning when to put this down. Thank you.